Hi everyone, in this video we will be learning how to crochet this cute little snowman ornament. I'm also going to be linking down below the Santa, the elf, and the gingerbread ornaments that you see in the photo. For this project, I am using worsted weight yarn. I'm using acrylic. You could use cotton if you prefer. I'm using white, green for the scarf, and black for the buttons. You'll also need polyfill or stuffing to stuff these ornaments, a 5mm crochet hook, a tapestry needle, some scissors, and also a stitch marker. We're going to start with the white yarn and make a magic ring. Chain 1, and we will make 8 single crochets into the ring. Once you have 8 single crochets in your ring, go ahead and pull your tail end tight, and we are going to continue round 2 right away, so we're not joining to anything, and that's why we need our stitch marker. So for round 2, we are going to make 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So there, I'm going to mark my first stitch with my stitch marker so I know where round 2 starts, and I'm making 2 single crochets in that first stitch and 2 single crochets in each stitch around, and for round 2 we will have a total of 16 stitches. Here I am at the end of round 2. For round 3, we will be increasing every other stitch. So for the first stitch, we will do 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, 2 single crochets, which is our increase. And follow that pattern all the way around. So 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets. For round 3, we will end up with a total of 24 stitches. Here I am at the end of round 3. For round 4, we will increase after every 2 stitches. So the first stitch, 1 single crochet. The second stitch, 1 single crochet. And then 2 single crochets, which is our increase. So single crochet, 2 single crochets. And for round 4, we should end up with a total of 32 stitches. Here I am at the end of round 4. That is our last decrease row. And now for rows 5 through 9, we will be making 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So rows 5 through 9 is a total of 5 rows. And we're just going to make 1 single crochet all the way around, and we will have 32 stitches in each of those rows. So I will meet you back here when I am finished with row 9. Here I am at the end of round 9. I have 1 more stitch to go, but I am going to change colors to green. So I'm going to pull through the green before I complete that single crochet. And for this next round, round 10, we are going to make half double crochets all the way around. So I'm using green for the scarf, so you could use whatever color you want for the scarf. But I'm not going to clip the white yarn because we're going to change right back to white after this one round. So go ahead and make half double crochets all the way around, and again we should still have 32 stitches all the way around. Here I am at the end of round 10. I have 1 stitch to go, but before I complete that, I'm going to switch back to white, change back to white, and then I'm going to clip the green. I'm going to tie it around the white just once. And for round 11, we are going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and we should still have 32 stitches in this round, and then after this round we will start to decrease. Here I am at the end of round 11. for round 12, we are going to decrease after every 2 stitches. So in the first stitch, make 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, 1 single crochet. And then we are going to make an invisible decrease. So we're working in the front loops only. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3, and that's 1 invisible decrease. So again, we're decreasing after every 2 stitches. So 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then invisible decrease. Follow that pattern all the way around, and for round 12 we will have a total of 24 stitches. Here I am at the end of round 12, and before this gets any smaller, we are going to embellish the buttons. So I'm just using some black yarn and a tapestry needle, and we are going to make some French knots on the opposite side of where our rows are starting, and we are going to make buttons on rows 6 and 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to go from the inside out, and we are going to put our needle under one of the loops of the crochet on row 6, and we are going to wrap the yarn around 2 times. And then we're going to hold on to those loops so we can push the needle through, and that should create a knot. And we will go back down the way we came. And there we have 1 button. And then we are going to do the same on row 8. So again, we're going to go through one of the top loops. We're going to wrap around twice, so the yarn goes in front of the needle 2 times. Pull it through, creates a knot, and we're going to go back down the way we came out. And there's our 2 buttons, and I'm just going to tie the ends on the inside. And at this point, I'm also going to start stuffing. So I'm just going to put a little bit of polyfill in here, and then once we get 1 or 2 more rows done, we can kind of just stuff it as we go. So we are on round 13, and for round 13 we will decrease every other stitch. So the very first stitch we will make a single crochet, and then we will decrease. Single crochet and decrease. And at the end of round 13 we will end up with 16 stitches. Here I am at the end of round 13, and for round 14 we are just going to decrease all the way around. So over those very first 2 stitches we will make a decrease, and this is the last round of decreases. And once we finish this round 14, we will end up with just 8 stitches, and then after this round is when we want to make sure our ornament is stuffed as much as we want it to be. Here I am at the end of round 14, and I did add a little more stuffing. This is the point where you want to make sure it is stuffed completely to your liking. So for round 15 we are going to make 2 single crochets in each stitch around, and then once we do 2 single crochets all the way around, we will end up with 16 stitches for round 15. Here I am at the end of round 15. We have 1 more row to go, and for round 16 we're going to do the same exact thing. We will make 2 single crochets in each stitch around. And then for round 16 we will have a total of 32 stitches. Here I am at the end of round 16. We can take our stitch marker out. We're done with that. we're gonna skip one and slip stitch into the next, fasten off and leave a tail. And we are going to grab our tapestry needle and we want to close this up, so we're actually going to sew it together down here in row 14. So I'm going to weave my tail down into row 14, which is 2 rows down. You can kind of see like where these big holes are. That's where we want to be. And then we're just going to weave our needle in and out all the way around. And then once we get to the beginning, we just want to pull it tight so it closes that, just like that. And we want to keep it tight and then make a knot to secure it. And I'm just going to weave it through the center. So the last two things we have to do is make a loop for hanging, but also the little scarf tails. So for the tails, we are going to make it on the side, and we are going to insert our hook into row 10, which is where our scarf color is. And we're going to pull through our color, our scarf color, and we're going to chain 8. Once we have 8 chains, we are going to work down the chain. In the second chain from the hook, we will make a single crochet, and we're just going to single crochet all the way down the chain. Once we get into that last chain, we are just going to slip stitch back into row 10 and fasten off. So there we have one little scarf tail, and we are going to do the same thing again, and then we will weave in our ends. So I'm just going to insert my hook right underneath it, still into row 10. I'm going to attach my yarn and chain 8. Starting in from the second chain from the hook, I'm going to single crochet all the way down, slip stitch back into row 10, and then I just need to clean up my ends. This is how it should be looking once you clean all your ends up. There's just these little scarf tails that are kind of flying in the wind. And then the last thing is adding a loop. So I just use a little bit of white yarn, and I'm just going to go through 2 spaces on the inside here. And then I'm just going to tie these ends together. And then you can trim the ends if you want. I cut it pretty close to the knot. And then you could even just kind of move the loop so the knot is on the inside. And there you have a little loop for your ornament to hang. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope you learned something new today. And if you enjoy crochet tutorials, be sure to give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.